look it up if you search amazing Pokemon fusions. And some of the ideas that were shown in terms of Pokemon fusions tempting to try it myself. Plus, there's plenty of ideas. Is that we didn't use fusions. Unfortunately, no whole Pokemon would love to let a fusion, but alas, they didn't include that. Background audio was pretty loud, you say. Let's see. Is better? It's only now that I realize that the sound on my headphones died. Oh well. So... let's see. How's this? Keep on accidentally grabbing the screen instead of my avatar. There we go. So there is one other thing I probably should mention. I actually did a look at a walkthrough before I started this game yesterday, and apparently, if you start the game, save your game, close it, then reload it, you get a free Pokemon on like really early on. So I might just do that. But anyways, let's get started. Forgot about the key bindings. Let's see here. The C key is apparently what I need to use for the A. I might just readjust that. Oh, wait a second. No, wait. This is unusual controls, but I can manage. Arrow keys still work. As does enter. Do I want to be a boy or a girl? On one hand, I am a guy, as you can clearly tell. On the other hand, a spy does require you to don unconventional disguises. That's mostly cosmetic, so I'll just be a guy. I keep forgetting that you can't just automatically type the word into prompt boxes like this. It's on PC. I guess that's one of the few drawbacks to the series remaining console lot. Although I don't exactly blame them, since that does mean they don't have to deal with certain mods, if you get what I'm saying. There we go. Kinda wish you could say you were from a different city. I mean, there's nothing wrong with just moving to the town recently. Hell, that's what that Ruby and Sapphire start out as. I don't feel like going with hard mode, but do I want to go easy or normal? Let's go with normal. normal as well. I'll turn autosave off for now. Ooh, multiple comparison. Save slots. Yeah, this was why I read that walkthrough, since I wasn't sure if, like, you would gain a power or what. Push a device extracts the DNA of two Pokemon and combines them to create an entirely new species. You know, this reminds me of this one Pokemon manga that never left Japan called Pokemon Rebirth, which was essentially people fusing with Pokemon to become superheroes. Kinda surprised they didn't at least, like, give it a trial run in Shonen Jump or something. Select any two Pokemon, use your DNA splicers on them, and just watch the magic happen before your eyes. Not a bad sprite. Used Pokemon can learn moves from both halves, which gives them an edge over a regular Pokemon. Yeah, it is a very interesting Sentai concept, although it's more akin to Kamen Rider Ryuki now that I think about it. And you can now try it on your very own Pokemon. Just an FYI, I'm not gonna, like, read everything that comes on screen. Like, in the next stream I do, this Friday, I probably won't read, like, I'll say, the economic focuses in Hearts of Iron 4. But I'll just do it if it's, like, plot relevant. Also, one other thing before I continue. There is one segment of this game where I will have to have the screen go black, at least in regards to the game, since it will show my computer name. And I have no idea why. It's probably just a fourth wall break thing, but they really should have added a streamer option. Anyway, DNA splicers now available for purchase at every Pokemart. I always remember that they had Stand By Me on the TVs in these games for some odd reason. I've never actually watched that movie. Okay, that's different. We normally don't have Leaf, or Green, I think her name is, in the games. You don't normally have her present at your house. Okay, letter from the Pokemon League. We are pleased to announce that your Pokemon League application has been accepted. You are hereby recognized as an official Pokemon trainer. You can now earn badges to take part in the Pokemon League Challenge. You will find your trainer card attached to this letter. We wish you the best of luck. They accepted your... Yeah, they did. And my rival, as tempting as it is to just give him something inappropriate, I'll probably just stick to Gary. Or Blue. Huh, that's different. Normally it's Professor Oak who asks you to name your rival. I guess this actually does make more sense, since it does mean that he doesn't get confused over his grandson's name, although it does raise the question of what if you give him something inappropriate? Like, does your mom tell him, and then he just decides, screw it, I won't bother correcting her. I'll just stick with Blue. Okay, that's actually kind of funny. Well, I mean, I literally just got the same letter. I do have to wonder, did they, like, send separate birds or something? Because I'm pretty sure he would have seen the Pidgeot in my house as well. The only other option I can really think of is they were sent at different times, in which case... never mind. I could say the exact same thing about you. At least he's admitting that there's no point in bragging. I've always wondered how far you could get it in a Pokemon game without actually getting one if you were forced. Like, how many steps could you take without actually having to get into a battle? I know obviously it wouldn't go in a way that you would like fight with your bare hands, although that is kind of an interesting option. But like, in terms of number of steps, like, is there a route you could actually be passed without a single Pokemon? I'm trying to remember if the games actually let you have an empty party nowadays. Oh well. The part that I will have to black the screen out is not until Celadon, so I highly doubt I'll even get to it in this stream. That's true. You also probably could just choose a route that has the pathway free of grass. Bit premature. Well, this does explain how they planned on, like, avoiding the loophole of, wait, he said he was in Viridian, but he always comes from behind. From the Pokemon Lab. So in other words, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Probably not the reference they were going for, but unintentional. You know, something I've always kind of disagreed with is the popular perception of what the best starter is. Like, I've always been under the perception, at least in regards to Kanto, as, oh, that Squirtle is the best choice. Should I give Squirtle a nickname? You know, I always get kind of excited whenever it's a female starter, simply because of how uncommon they are. I mean, admittedly, each Squirtle and its evolutions are probably more masculine. And then, say, a Sprigato. Well, since what I plan on fusing this with is a Gallade, I think there's only one appropriate name. Going with this, since if I recall correctly, that is the English localization of Mega Man. In fact, let me double check. I must be remembering incorrectly. Well, according to the wiki, it's Rock Light, so calling him Rock would certainly be appropriate. Okay, that's a tiny bit favoritism. Would be interesting if, like, they incorporated yellow into this, like Professor Oak decided right now, you know what, since I gave my grandson and Splicers, and he got to fuse the other two starters, you get to fuse was Pikachu with the one you chose. Admittedly, wouldn't give you much of a reason to hunt for a Pikachu in the Viridian Forest. We have two Pokemon together to create an entirely new species of Pokemon. You know, I've always wondered how many people tried to use the DNA splitters in Black 2 and White 2 on other Pokemon. I mean, obviously the game wouldn't allow it, but, like, was there anyone who tried to do it with anything else? Like, I imagine that there might have been someone who at least tried with the legendary birds, since, you know, I think there was a fusion of them in the Pokemon Adventures manga. I actually have that on my shelf. I'll probably give it a read this weekend. So, here we have the main gimmick of the games. That's kind of rude. Honestly, it would have actually made more sense to have Oak combine two Pokemon and have me team up with Blue in this case. I just remembered that there's a potion in the PC at the start. I can probably make it, depending on what type it is. Never mind then, I forgot. Look the under a foot, but an agent always makes do. I do have to wonder, did I get it first because of the fusion, or is that what I would have normally gotten? I'll have to replay or unpack with Fire Red or Leaf Green in some time. I'll do a tiny bit of grinding. Can't catch it even if since I don't have any Pokeballs. You know, that reminds me of a theory I've always disagreed with. You know the theory that, like, Blue, who was in Lavender Town, that's the name of the place, used to bury his Raticate. I never liked that theory because the thing is, I actually don't think his Raticate died. Like, the more logical scenario is Raticate outlived its usefulness. And he decided to switch it out. Lavender Town is pretty close to the Pokemon Safari, so it's not a stretch to imagine he decided, you know what, I'll keep you until the... Oh hey, Water Gun. Like, that's the reason why I think Squirtle's better than Charmander. In fact, in my opinion, Charmander's the weakest of the three. Strictly in terms of the single player aspect, because of the types that Charmander is weak against, three of them, yeah, all three are gyms in Kanto, whereas as of the strengths, two of them, actually three now that I think about it, do not have gyms, whereas as the ones that it actually is strong against, actually the one, now that I think about it, is Sullivan, which is midway, admittedly. He's faster than, even more in the long term than the other three, but still. on the other hand, and has a type advantage against the first gym, or resistance against the second, does struggle with the third and fourth, but the 7th and 8th it has type advantage against. Bulbasaur is kinda down the middle, like, it has type advantages against the first two, a resistance to the third, and kind of a resistance and advantage against the fourth. It really depends on if you're talking about... Oh, it really depends on what Erica's team is. I seem to remember this guy actually being able to, like, take you there directly. I'm probably thinking of another game. What Pokemon does he have, I have to wonder? You know, one of the Pokemon you can encounter requires you to have exceeded over a certain number of unique fusions. Does inverted fusions count? I mean, even if they don't, you can achieve it pretty easily. I'm not sure if that woman was a trainer or not, but either way, it looks like I was out of her sight. Don't feel like battling in against that. Now that I think about it, how do fusions in the wild work? Like, what? Do they have like DNA splicers in some like Grand Canyon or something? Let's see what else there is to do around here. There was an item behind that guy. Remember if there was a map in the Pokemon Center since... there is. Yeah, if you can't tell, this game actually has both regions. Ooh. I actually really like the Heavy Islands in Red and Leaf Green, so it's fun to see that they're here as well. Okay, so we will go to Route 22 first thing upon getting the ability to use Pokemon. Gonna capture a Pidgey, for sure. Because if you go there and battle your rival and trigger the meeting with Brock, you will actually gain the ability to access the place with some really unique Pokemon. Honestly, part of me wishes this game was actually based on Gold and Silver, or Heart Gold and Soul Silver to be specific, because Gen 4 in total was just a fantastic time to be a Pokemon fan. Like, the best spin-off was actually a Gen 5 game. I forgot the parcel that I was supposed to be getting. But anyway, the best spin-off... maybe I'll go for Hoot Hoot instead. But anyway, the best spin-off, Pokemon Conquest, was a Gen 5 game, and they should remake that. I mean... Ironically enough, it's actually harder for Nobunaga to get as far as he got. Not because of fairy types, since... Ooh, 3 DNA splicing. And, you know, those are super effective against dragons. You know, that's another that reminds me of another theory I dislike. There's one theory that suggests that Red is on Mount Silver to permanently resign from life. But the thing is, I think a more realistic option is he's just there because he wants some alone time. Like, if you've seen the first Yu-Gi-Oh movie, The Pyramid of Light, you'll know that being, like, the best gets you a lot of challenges. So you'll often have people decide, oh hey, maybe my idea of catching guard in Gallade can happen before the post game. But anyway, if you see in the Pyramid of Light, you probably know that being champion gets you a lot of people who think that they can beat you, so oh, I can imagine him deciding, you know what, if anyone can come up here, I'll fight them. They've earned it. I mean, I don't think there were any trainers on that area, aside from Red, obviously. In fact, let's see here. Yeah, in all the games, Red is the only trainer in that area. So it's not unreasonable. My idea is perfectly within reason. And I was right about her being a trainer. Hindsight probably would have been better to wait until I caught something to get some experience, but oh well. One theory I've actually read recently to explain a gym leader's typings is the theory about Jasmine, you know, the leader of Olivine City. Yeah, that. The thing is, her team doesn't make much sense if you look at it from the perspective of trying to stop fire types, since not only types, and in general, doesn't really make sense for a steel type. I mean, you could have switched out one of the Magnemites on her team for a Skarmory, and it would have made more sense. In fact, let me double check the wiki. Yeah. She could have also had a Fortress on her team, as well as a Caesar. I mean, Caesar, to be fair, is kind of more bugsy, these Pokemon, since, you know, it's the evolution of Scyther, but you could make an argument for either, but she should have at least had a Skarmory. But either way, the thing is, it makes more sense if you consider that she's actually trying to stop a water type. Because you can actually get a hold of those pretty easily in Olivine. Like, if you somehow manage to get that far, or with Chikorita, you'd probably decide, you know what, I need a water type, and you'd catch a Shellder or something, which would allow you to take out Steelix since it's part ground, but the Magnemites make that a bit harder. Of course, that does raise the question of why she didn't include a counter to a fighting type, which Skarmory would kind of be. Custom Pokeball. Okay, I can unfuse. Do I get the splicers back if that happens? Well, that does answer my question about how many fusions we need to see. I am not even going to try and attempt that. I do have to wonder how many fusions there would be if they included all the Pokemon. I'm trying to remember how many Pokemon are in this game. That's actually a good question. I know that if, like, you fuse two Pokemon that can evolve differently, the evolution will account for it. I'm not even sure if I'll use Hoot Hoot, but Might as well catch it so I have something to fuse. Not gonna fuse this with Squirtle. You know, fun fact about Hoot Hoot, or more specifically its evolution Noctowl. The one Ash catches in the anime, that's actually a shiny Pokemon. Kind of odd that they chose to give him that instead of the Gyarados everyone gets, but then again, and there are people who don't have shinies other than the Gyarados. I can always change the name later, so I won't give a nickname now. Just looking up where the Pokemon are. I should really bookmark these pages, but it starts off. Here we go, Route 1. Tango is apparently on this route. Really rare, apparently. Eevee can be caught in the Secret Garden, which is what I was talking about. Let's see how long it takes me to find a Ralts. Normally I wouldn't do this, but I've literally never played this. Pineco's on the Viridian River. I actually caught a shiny Pineco in black. Was very excited. It was one of those gold ones, which honestly didn't look half bad. Let's see here. By the way, if there are some that I have to play outside of the stream in order to get, I'll just post it as a community post. Let's see here. If I had to guess, it would probably be near where I find Abra. I do not remember what route that is. Okay, Route 7 is where I find Vulpix. Nothing on the paste bin it says anything. Maybe perhaps it's at the same place. Oh wait, probably search. Oh well, L doesn't look like it's in the paste bin. That's a while anyway, so. Decided in the long run I probably won't use Hoot Hoot, so what do you think, chat? Should I catch this one and infuse it? I mean, I probably will anyway, just for the sake of completing the Pokedex. But speaking of which, I'm going to assume that means they do not have individual entries for each Pokemon fusion, because that would be a nightmare to add all the deck entries for. Oops, oh well. Oh hey, you can change the nickname on the fly. That's actually pretty convenient. That is something I want the main games to add. What happens if you fuse two Pokemon of the opposite gender? I'll have to try that out. I'm not doing a Nuzlocke, by the way, if you haven't already figured it out. I'm not even sure where you can get Ralts. Well, it's at least the paste bin. Of course, I could hypothetically get it through a Wonder Trade, since I'm going to need that. Like, Wonder Trades are a thing in this game. I'm not sure if... It's probably not online. Like, I don't think I'm going to randomly send... and like a Rattata and getting a Giratina out of this, but I know Ralts is in the game, it's just where I get it from is the question. But I'm going to guess like it chooses something at complete random, and one thing I do know is that if I get a fused Pokemon in a Wonder Trade, I cannot unfuse it for its components, which is a bit unfortunate, but does make sense, since that would be a bit broken. And if it was something like, I don't know, Lucario and Garchomp. You know, that actually kind of reminds me of another Pokemon fan game. In Pokemon Zeta, I think it was, like, that actually has like a whole second half where it expects you to practically start over, but it also has a secret base mechanic, which it turns out that the game does lock you out of your PC for most of the second half. They forgot about the date here, meaning that if you were to, say, obtain a level 100 Garchomp and put it in there, it would break things instantly. There's no gender sign next to that. That is an interesting way of getting around on the gender mechanic. I think I'll catch a second Rattata for that Wonder Trade. A bit of an interesting relation to playing Pokemon on PC. Like, I played through a ROM hack of Leaf Green a long time ago, and I actually got a shiny Meowth in that game. Probably lost it on one of my older hard drives. Not sure how I'd transfer it over. I mean, the software probably exists, but the problem then is legality. Heard that Scarlet and Violet made catching the shinies pretty easily. I can't play them yet, but not for the reason you're thinking, since I promised I would not play a new Pokemon game excluding fan games, obviously, until I caught a shiny. The Arceus. I'm not sure if I would want to try and do that on stream, since I've already pretty much beaten all of Brilliant Diamond, but I wouldn't be opposed to trying to do so while I was, like, doing something else. Yeah, it's kind of crazy what people can get up to with modding. Like, I actually discovered a mod for Terraria that basically turns it into a 2D Metroid. Which I probably will play on stream sometime for a Friday. Found a much more complete Pokedex on the wiki itself. Let's see here. Secret Garden. I'm hoping that means the one that I can encounter early on as opposed to some other one. Then again, there's no parentheses, so... I'm going to be spending a bit of time there anyway because I want, like, all 7 evolutions. I still find it odd that they did not introduce an 8th one and use 2 more in Sword and Shield. Like, I can understand only introducing 1 in Gen 6 since, hey, you want people to focus on the new evolution and the new type, but they didn't introduce a new type in Sword and Shield. And the Dynamax EV does not count before you ask. You couldn't even get that if you didn't play Let's Go Eevee. Reading that walkthrough did give me some valuable insight, like, it's going to pay to put Estrevious on my team since, well, there is a very certain boss which will give me a set of splicers I can use for as many times as I want except said boss uses a fusion in that is really hard to take out otherwise, but it's powerless against ghost types. And Ninetales, the other thing I plan on using it with, does learn Will-O-Wisp, which is the strategy that he recommended. The wiki does not say that Rolls is blocked behind the post-game or anything, so that is good news. I'm going to assume post-game means after I become champion, not after I beat the stuff from Johto as Go, since I'd have to scrap that plan. And if I wanted to do certain things. Yeah, it says Bidoof on Route 29, and there is no way they would lock Pokemon, which you can otherwise get very early in most other games. Blue the last time. Quite a few egg Pokemon you can get. They have a location called Togepi Island, but a Togepi is not found on said islands. Use that, make that information what you want. I mean, I guess if you're going for fusions, it's there's probably something it's useful with, but I don't really use it for anything other than HMs anyway. Just realized that both the Rattata I caught are female. Try and get this one because it looks really rare. If the mod is not interesting to you, I'd be more than happy to post it in the community or something. Honestly, the two things I want the most for Terraria are turrets. It doesn't have to be like super endgame. I know that there's that one, that there are those sentries, but not exactly what I was thinking since you need magic for that. Like, I want something you can just place and load in the heroes or something. And the other thing is bots, which admittedly are not as useful in Factorio as they in Terraria as they are in Factorio. Oh, since you'd only be placing in long lines, but honestly, if they added some other way, like, I don't know, like a special blueprint and accessory or something that let you place ace one unblocked down on one side and then another or on at another place, and it would just fill in the rest with the same kind of block. That would be what I would want. Even if it was just for platforms, I'd take that as well. Of course, that would require more varieties of platforms. Asphalt platforms or anyone. But still, it would be useful. That item remains out of reach, and it will for a while, unfortunately. Well, the main reason I was hesitant about trying to fuse Pokemon was that I wasn't sure about. I wanted to see what would happen if they'd be of the same gender, since it looks like fusing them with different genders just removes it as an issue. So I'll just level up food a bit. Surname doesn't say where Miss Grievous is found. And it does say that, and it's one of those funny cases where it's like they only show one half. It's kind of like a recursive loop. Oops, so I don't know. I say when I get Pidgey to level 8, that'll be good enough to challenge my rival. Actually, he just looks up something quick. was trying to remember which of the two fusions it went with, but they're both the same type. So ultimately, raising Pidgey is a good idea, especially for when I get Gust, since that'll be something that's super effective against it as opposed to just normal, which is what water type would be. That is certainly an interesting fusion. Would have actually guessed it was an Apom fusion first, which before was a wrap. That is so fun. Could have sworn Pidgey learned Gust at that level. Oh well, I did say I'd make it level 8 anyway. I always find it odd how in the earlier games you could never really... Okay, that is probably the weirdest fusion I've seen so far. But honestly, if you want to see weird mods, Hearts of Iron provides you with even more content than Terraria. Like, I've seen mods that add Evangelon. Probably butchered that. There's even a My Little Pony mod, and it's not just like add some characters. It's a complete overhaul that makes the world of My Little Pony work in the Hearts of Iron 4 engine, and it works a lot better than you think it would. I may or may not do a stream with it sometime. It's actually really well made. There is actually one path. There actually are two paths now that I think about it, that you could remove from the quest tree at war and would still work. Admittedly, one is an April Fool's joke. I wonder what they'll do for the April Fool's jokes this year. I had my money on a crossover between two mods last year, and neither one of them crossed over, and so I wonder if I should do the crossover this year. If they do, I will stream it. Assuming they use Gen 7 moves. Level 9 to learn Gust. You know, one thing I do find odd that they haven't tried to do, considering how popular it is making a Pokemon trading card video game. There was one for the GBA and a sequel which never came stateside, and I I haven't heard anything bad about it. Admittedly, people think there are other franchises people think of when they think of the trading card games. I think there was actually a video game based on Magic the Gathering for the GBA. That is definitely not what I would have guessed my first encounter with a Mine Junior Fusion would have been. Yep, I was right. Yeah, I'm not sure if they decided it was for balancing purposes. I think it might have been, since you couldn't get it in Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, but you could get it really early in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, which I didn't play because I don't play Pokemon Go. This does allow us to return Squirtle to the position of highest ranked Pokemon. Now that I think about it, I probably should level up Hoot a bit, if only for the sake of Hypnosis. Since if I do encounter a Ralts, all it would take would be for it to use Teleport. What is time progression in this game? It was like... Maybe this is something where like a second IRL is equivalent to a minute in the game, which would actually make some sense. Used any Pokemon yet, but honestly it's just because there's nothing that really stands out to me as being fused. I mean, I could fuse two Pokemon with themselves. That actually does work. I kind of want to wait until I get my hands on two Doug Trio. Obviously I would need two of the same Pokemon. It would be a bit redundant to fuse a Pokemon with itself when you only have the one Pokemon. Okay, it looks like actually looking at that pastebin file was a good thing, since it looks like I can get Mischievous on the Pokemon Tower. Oops, I accidentally called up OBS instead of Infinite Fusion. Like an old man. Yeah, I'd say a level 6 with food is good, and level 9 for Squirtle and Pidgey are good as well. I mean, I'll probably switch out Pidgey for something else in the long run. Oops. Not what I wanted to select. The question I have, I guess, is do I fuse walls with Squirtle when I get it, or do I wait for both to evolve separately? Well, that does answer my question of whether or not I'd see the only elite trainers using them. Well, that's unique. Nothing really unique about Cash that I can get a Garrus. Well, I can get a non-Anti on this route. You know, I've always found it odd that they offer the run option in a battle. Wouldn't it make more sense to, like, just have a concede option instead? Players would actually use that. Interesting idea if anyone wants to steal for a fan game. Never mind. Well, I got one of the items. It actually isn't a bad shortcut. Okay, my headphones should be charged up enough. maybe not. I forgot that I had the sound down on them the whole time. On Pidgey, vindicate my decision to level you up. Yeah, I wouldn't have made a difference. And Spike, if Charizard was fire poison, which hypothetically could have been, I wouldn't have bothered with Pidgey, but because it's fire grass. That's a type combination I don't think they've tried in the main games. So, did he just loop around to encounter me, or...? I think this is the first time I've seen this at all in any form. So, let's go see if I can figure out how to get into the secret garden. Already battled you. Oh, I can get another item. And that TM is just there to taunt us as well. Might be at the start of the next round, now that I think about it. You know, if there's one thing I wish the Pokemon games would add, it's an experience start. Like, it would be the same as like most games, except it would let you skip the catch tutorial and whatnot. Let's see what's in here. Well, it's good to know that... Okay, that's actually not a bad fourth wall break. Thought the game froze up on me for a second. Never mind then, looks like we don't have to worry about the tutorial. That was kind of a waste of time. Was hoping I'd at least get like a berry out of it or something. Okay, so... lists contradictory things. It says vaults can be found in the secret garden in one place, but not in the other. It's apparently on Route 1, though. No wonder I couldn't find it. Makes sense. Trying to figure out if right of Route 1 meant to the right at the start, on, or on. Might have to look this up. Oh, it's really well hidden. Apparently I could access this if I didn't fight Blue. I would have just had to wait until after Celadon, so... There we go. Ooh, quite powerful stuff already. I should probably buy some Pokeballs. Doesn't say I can only visit it once, so I should be good. It would be really funny if I got a shiny Ralts. Actually, now that I think about it, what happens if you fuse a shiny with a non-shiny? Nice. It's possible I might only be able to get Ralts with the Poke Radar. which wouldn't be the worst thing since you actually can get fly in, like, Third City. I'm just gonna catch every Eevee I get it here since you can get a free one and sell it in, which I'll probably keep. But other than I've always wondered why you can't at least like reuse Pokeballs. I mean, I can get like not reusing them right away, but why not have a machine that lets you recommission them or something? And here we go. Even the right gender for the fusion I want. Probably should have gone with the Premier Ball. Yes! I might actually... For now, I won't nickname it, although I'll come back. I can give it a nickname later. Let's try and go for a female one, since Gardevoir fusions are really good in this game. And hey, we do know we can get Rocks on this route, so mission accomplished. Mental note to self, add that information on the wiki once you're done with this stream. Wonder what other rare Pokemon I can find here. You know, the topic of... You know, the Pokemon from outside Kanto here in this region kind of reminds me of something that I realized that a lot of people wanted, but would be incredibly impractical. Ooh, catching you. Namely, it's a Pokemon game with all the regions. Because the problem is that, well, it would in the amount of time that they kept to make that, they would add so many more that it would just delay the game. If I can't get it after a third Pokeball, I'll just go. And it looks like the game decided, you know what, give him that Pokemon. Wrong Psychic type. I'm going to actually catch this one because I'm actually curious what happens if you unfuse a wild Pokemon. know, the amount of dittos I'm getting reminds me of how in Terraria, I'd want an item, it wouldn't show up, and then when I finally get it and I have it, it starts popping up endlessly. A lot of Rattata fusions. Could probably train one of those, since I remember the guide saying, hey, get the fusion you have up to level 10 for the Wonder Trade or something. That is not the time. It is where I'm living, by the way. That kind of reminds me how... I think that I leveled up because I was afraid that Ralt would teleport, but it didn't do anything. I wonder if you could switch Pokeballs in this game. That's a feature I've actually seen a few people request. I can understand why they wouldn't let you use the Master Ball for that, since it would be pretty stupid to switch. Since you could hypothetically reuse it infinite times if you got a hold of it, but I'd say that if you made an exception for that one, it would be fine. Like, there's a lot of features I've seen online that would actually be good ideas. Like, one I've seen suggested is basically make it so that if a Pokemon takes damage from a type, it gains resistance up to a certain point. It would certainly make using a grass type against a fire... would certainly make using a Pokemon like Ludicolo against, say, a flying type more practical. For Empire Earth, like, the AI would always demonstrate the type of unit that was weak against what was being thrown against you. It was kind of incomplete. Since the tutorials didn't go up to the Gunpowder Age, which introduced an entirely new type of unit. I mean, it did work if you wanted, like, the general idea, but I'm not sure if I could stream that game because... not because of, like, copyright. I don't think anyone would really care. I'm not even sure if Sierra's still around anymore. No, it's because, well... it doesn't play nice with Windows. Like, it functions, but the screen kind of works. It's very... awkward. Well, since I know I can always go back, I think I'm gonna go heal up. I should also probably switch the other Rattata out for Ralts. I'm half tempted to fuse Lickitung and Tanglia. Should I? wonder if there's like an exhaustion mechanic in this game. And that would explain why the time is so weird. And again, I don't see any... Well, I've read there are hotels, so... I forgot that Ralts doesn't start off with any offensive moves. I'm thinking I evolved... Probably gonna need quite a few ones. Now that I think about it, since there are a lot of good Gardevoir fusions. If I can just get a female, I'll just breed them all. And I actually can do that before I head to Johto, since they made it so that the daycare in Kanto is the one that you can get eggs at. Yeah, it probably would be incredibly cursed. Well, let's see if there's anything interesting in the forest. I'm actually half tempted to fuse Ditto with Tanglia. I'll unfuse it. Who's that Ralts Ditto fusion I got, then fuse that with Tanglia. See ya, man. And hope you can tune in next time. Okay, we actually have a way of fighting with Ralts now. No more having to share experience. And figures that the first Pokemon that I had to fight with Ralts would be one that can resist psychic types. I guess I might as well use Squirtle. Still, this is going to make things, once I get past the forest, a bit easier, since, hey, all the good Pokemon can bypass special defenders. So I don't have anything to work with. Yeah, this is not exactly a good spot for training. I should probably just be running if I don't get a Ralts. Or an Eevee, for that matter. That went about as well as I could have hoped. Trying to figure... Trying to figure out what gender I want each evolution evolution to be, since I've got 3 male, and I might end up catching a female, at least one female. Before you ask, I am not going to make a female Vaporeon. I do not want to invite people spamming the coffee pasta. I would catch a Farfetch'd, but I guess I could make all the Kanto evolutions male. Let's see here. Yeah, like, if I make Sylveon male, I can make half male and the other half female. That works. Then again, and Glaceon, the Glaceon that made that my favorite evolution was male, so, you know what? Female Glaceon it is. I did operate kind of under the impression that it was female when I played it, and it wasn't until I actually checked the game. Don't have anything I'm willing to sell with, so I think it's time to move on to the next route to get some cash. There's supposedly something later on that you can get a lot of cash from. So if I don't like it, so I want to get at least the first gym done tonight. So if I don't get it'll roll its then. And I might just wait until after that point. And hey, with my plan team, so far there isn't like anything where I'd have to make a painful choice as to what to evolve. I think what I'll do is I'll evolve both Squirtle and Ralts into Wartortle and Curlia respectively, then I'll fuse them. Might as well give them some practical moves of each type. You, I should not be fighting with. Ralts. Probably should be using Squirtle since Pidgey will get a lot of mileage in the Viridian Forest. Let's try again. actually do have some money to my name. I guess I could go and buy a few more Pokeballs. 5 more should be... I just wanted to see what that guy sold, since I don't remember TMs being purchasable in Viridian. Viridian's kind of small for a city, now that I think about it. If I wasn't restricted by the Pokeball numbers, I'd actually catch that. If I could get a Ralts and an Eevee fusion right about now, that would be great. Pokemon are on gender. Knees itching in a bit. Male Eevee will I get before I get a feed? I mean, I've already gotten 4, so... There we go, in case the power goes out. I've got a backup save. That just occurred to me. What happens to the consciousness of two Pokemon fuse? Like, is it something similar to fusion in Dragon Ball, or like, are they two minds inhabiting the same body? Would be interesting. Interesting lore debate. That's an interesting fusion. Looks like Ika Farfetch got into some noodles made from zucchini. I almost said spaghetti. Oh hey, looks like this is using the Gen 7 movesets. Good to know. I can actually make some notes tomorrow since I won't be streaming on Thursdays. That might change in the future, like when I get my own place. If I'm still doing the work from home, I would be open to like adding in an extra day to the schedule. Weekends, I'd probably stay for special events. Kind of wish they'd use different music for rarer Pokemon. I mean, they kind of do if you count out, like, wandering encounters of legendaries, but... I mean, like, aside from that... Also, when I was looking at that walkthrough, there was one thing that they actually did kind of significantly change. I wonder if it's if the next 3 encounters aren't what I want, I'll just go on with the story. One of the next 3, I might add. Okay, this one reminds me of the Alms bird. Well, that does answer the question I had about if they had Pokemon fusions in the decks. It would be insanity trying to complete. A Murkrow fusion would probably be more appropriate for that nickname, but oh well. Let's get to Pewter City, beat Brock, and I guess I'll call it a stream. Still not sure how I want to sign out. I will probably do some grinding off screen. That's certainly a novel way of teaching Pokemon moves. Well, at least it's not like from the Legend of Pikmin 3 where I'd get stuck to it. All that does make it easier to get a hold of more Pokemon. I'm not trying to avoid the trainers, I just want to make sure I get through everything first. Like, I wanted to get that out of the way. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was going to be a Metang or Metapod. Either way, it goes down. One after 2 turns. Okay, secret. Wasn't even looking for that. Like a Diglett with a Nidoran than a Weevil. Probably would be using Wall as my lead and switching, but oh well. I find it funny that in the first gen, and beating Rock with the Charmander is actually kind of bragging rights, but then in Gen 3 when they remade it, the Gen 1 games, it was actually kind of anticlimactic simply because, oh hey, I learned Metal Claw now. Think if there's any other changes. I don't think this like that one of the remakes made. I mean, technically Ruby and Sapphire had that with Torchic and Felby and Buskin, but Omega a Ruby and Alpha Sapphire didn't. I just said something, but then immediately did the opposite. Well, if it wasn't going to go for my first Pokemon, I won't even bother catching it. Probably get that item before I go. I doubt that it's the case. I wonder if there's like a difference in fusion if you use certain tools. Pokemon. Like, would using one cause you to go for cause you to get one pool? Or one? It is an issue with Nidoran, I know that, but probably not now that I think about it. Because I kind of want to wait until I have the funds to actually afford Pokeballs, but once I get a lot more money, I'll and know where I can find Quick Balls. That Caterpie's been hitting the gym. But anyway, once I find Quick Balls and get a good amount of funds, I will gladly go back and start a catching spree. Trying to remember if there's a and I can't get that item anyway. I need the HM for cut. It'll give me something to look forward to when I get to the part of the game where I can go back using cut. The people you'd normally need to move to eat mushrooms to use the skills up in this game, so I'm not really bothering. Well, that does answer the thing I was wondering. I would have guessed it was the other mushroom Pokemon, the one in Gen 5 that I forget the name of, but I guess Paris works well. If I have the chance, let's catch it. Yeah, good luck with that. Okay, that does explain. I don't think that guy does anything in the time in between. So there is a hotel. I guess it's a theme. I could like aim to save in one of those. Yeah, the Magikarp killer. Funny thing is, he's actually a lot more valuable in black and white since Magikarp are not native to Unova. Like, you wind up appreciating him more. Wonder what that... I know that guy gives me a flute, but I'm not sure what it does. Fossils I'd find if I was actually allowed to like take an in-depth look at them. Rock type Pokemon. I don't think you have the right typing for that. One of the... Yeah. Yeah. Was it Dragonite? I mean, on that quiz, I could have technically said Kangaskhan. That's a nifty feature. That's foreshadowing, I guess? That's John's the chip. Kinda wish he gave you more unique dialogue depending on what starter you have. Of course not. That's why I went this way. Oh hey, I actually might be able to get past this with the first one with Ross. The super effective isn't playing, but I can live with that. That's different. Admittedly, it is a good way to prevent me from cheesing it by sending out some buffer Pokemon. So that's when Ralts learns Teleport. That is not the Onyx fusion I would have expected. Looks like a dog that's excited to see you. Kind of odd that it's with a Diglett and not like one of the fossil Pokemon. Actually, you know what that does remind me of? That worm Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet. The one that scared a certain dog on her stream. Premium Wonder Trade ticket. Let's see what the flute the guy has is. Oh, it's a permanent repel. That's actually pretty nifty. At least I'm hoping. It is. It could be one of the flutes from Gen 3's Glass Blower Studio, which can break. I never really used those. I don't even remember if they were in like the remakes. Guess that shows how memorable they were. Then again, and the fact that they required a lot more work than the reward they gave. Like, they should have at least let you shake the trees for volcanic ash or something. I will train this Rattata in my party up. I would not be opposed to doing a Scarlet and Violet stream, even one, so I get the equipment. I mean, by the time I do get that at Arceus, they'll probably have patched out all the bugs. back. That... Anyway, fun fact. Scarlet and Violet is actually the first time I will intentionally not choose the water type. I'm not a fan of Quaxly's design. Or the designs of its evolutions, for that matter. Like, Sobble's design was okay, it's just the evolution of the design of its starter or its final form kind of reminded me of, and I can't believe I'm saying this, you know those like commentary channels on YouTube that have like really questionable opinions that use a furry avatar? It reminded me a bit too much of that. Not gonna say, hey, what type of videos they would make, but you probably know, like, there was this one guy called He's Argyle who made this video kind of like trying to justify racism, and aside from the topic really being what you getting the reception you get, there was a very particular fetish that he was aiming for with this profile, and well, I found out about it afterward. It's thanks to people like Shark Zero and Just a Robot. They actually spent and like more than a few seconds talking about it. Like, they were like, dude, this is distracting from the topic at hand, so own it down. I'm not the type to kink shame, but there is a time and place for that. I should do with the other Rattata I'll get. Ooh, I'm gonna catch you. I've always liked the design of Sentret. And Furret as well. Like, of all the HMs and Pokemon that are in like every generation, Sentret and Furret are probably my favorite design. I always found it kind of odd that they unintentionally went with that design for Inteleon. That's the name of the Pokemon, because like normally that's not what happens. There's usually a Pokemon ends with the starters. Like, there isn't something that feels like they apply for. Like with Meowstic, there actually, come to think of it, starting with Gen 6 onwards, there was at least one Pokemon that did feel like they were going for a certain audience with. Except I would have guessed Cinderace would have been the one that would have fulfilled that role, since, you know, bunny girls are pretty popular. Now that I think about it, I did choose the Grass-type starter in Gen 8 as well. Luki did have a pretty cool theme. I'm kind of surprised there wasn't like a James Bond or an MI6 reference in those generations, since those are arguably two of the most British things I can think of that don't have a negative connotation. I mean, MI6 technically kind of does. If you're a certain rabbit on the site, although she's American, not British, so it's either way. it over, I think I'll try and go for one batch, or a minimum of one batch per stream, maybe two, depending on how long it takes. That's a good number. I will do some off-screen grinding, but if I do that, I will post like an update in the community tab or something. And it won't really be an issue early on. Like, I'd say Celadon might be where it starts to become a problem. But yeah, I won't force you guys to sit through this grinding. Same for like those catching concessions. I do apologize for dragging it out, kind of. Do I want to try a Wonder Trade now, or do... Yeah, I mean, there are times where I've actually gotten very frustrated with RNG in general, but there's also times where I've actually gotten very lucky. Like, in Hearts of Iron 4, there's an exploit called Order 66, which I don't think I need to explain the origin of that name, but basically what happens is you get military access to any country, like it could be Germany, it could be the Soviet Union, etc. You place a bunch of units on all their victory points, then you declare war on either another faction member or a country they're guaranteeing. They get called in, and they come close, and it really brings them close to surrender, if it doesn't force them to do so automatically. I bring this up because I was able to actually pull it off against Italy as Greece. It was probably one of the best moments I had playing that game. Like, I can only imagine Mussolini deciding to go all... Let me look it up. Hitler on April 30th on himself out of shame the second he saw Greek cavalry enter Rome. Surprisingly, there is not a news event for that in the vanilla game. There are some mods that include that, although the vanilla game does have an event for China taking Tokyo, which I actually have gotten. Admittedly, it involved another exploit with naval invasions. I can only imagine how much that would have derailed history if that had actually been what had happened in real life. Like, President Roosevelt, sir, we've just received a telegram about trouble in Asia. Did Japan declare war on China? No, sir. The Japanese have surrendered to the Chinese. What? You heard that correctly. I need a drink. Honestly, though, if you really wanted to derail history, I actually think there actually is one thing you could do. Like, if you just want to stop up a certain Austrian painter, just go back to World War I and convince and get Henry Tandy, this British soldier, to shoot Hitler. Like, it's a bit disputed, but supposedly he actually had the chance to kill Hitler, but he chose not to. On one hand, it does seem a bit convenient, and the Austrian painter did you didn't see a lot of combat, but on the other hand, he could have chosen anyone. Like, he could have claimed Bernard Montgomery if he really wanted someone famous. So, I'd say 50-50 chance it happened, 50-50 it didn't. But if you want to actually, like, change history without derailing things too much, I say just let Hitler stand trial, because that would discredit neo-Nazism before it happens, and also get rid of a lot of the conspiracy theories that state it's that he faked his death. I would not have guessed I would end up talking about that topic like when I started the stream, but oh well. You know, there is one thing I am kind of disappointed with in regards to the designs for Gen and 9 starters. Like, I actually really wish they had gone with a dolphin for the water type, right? Because that's been something they've never touched in Pokemon at all. And it's not like it's a rare creature or anything. You know what? I'll do that Wonder Trait now. Okay, let's see what I get. I'm going to assume this is not an actual... That's an interesting fusion. It does have a teddy bear, kind of like a stuffed animal vibe to it. I'm going to stick with 5 Pokemon for now. Oh, since aside from the fact that I don't feel... Oh, well, actually, I guess you could say 4, since I'm going to fuse 2 of them. But I say that because, well, Vulpix is really close, and I did... Let's see what's in this hotel. Oh, so that's why they have such... why the time feels so strange. This would actually be a pretty neat feature to add it. Add to the main games. Like, most RPGs do allow you to take quests from Radiant people. How many mushrooms do I have? Well, 2 of those quests I can accomplish with a trip to the forest, and I might as well be efficient and get the 3rd done. And he said showed. Oh, you know, funny story about the word about pewter. That was actually why tomatoes actually had such a bad rep for so long. Like, as you probably are aware, tomatoes are very acidic, but The thing is, because of the lead pit, I think it was that's in pewter, or that would release a very toxic poison, meaning that many of the nobility would get poisoned by it, whereas the common folk who did not eat on pewter would eat them just fine. It was only after Thomas Jefferson basically ate tomatoes, the fruit, I should probably add, that people realized, wait, we've been doing this wrong the whole time. Kind of interesting to think that it's that took so long. And yet, oddly enough, it's Italian cuisine that people think of when they think of tomatoes, even though the U.S. was, the Americans were arguably the ones who proved that it was safe to eat normally. I'm not sure when people realized the cause. Like, you'd think there would have been some case where like, a noble was eating on the road and they had no choice but to use some other place aside from pewter, or then they realized, wait, I feel fine after eating this. Then again, the Romans had no problem using lead pipes for so long. Like, fun fact, the U.S. has so many lead pipes because of lobbying, and this isn't like some conspiracy theory. Like, there were actually ads before people realized, wait, this is a really bad idea, emphasizing the benefits of lead pipes. I'm gonna have to make another Pokeball. I'll run. Like, I get the why conspiracy theorists think that way most of the time, but what hangs me up is the how. How, as in how those they proposed are implemented. Gonna try and keep this on topic, or from now on. I mean, Pokemon's not exactly the game for those sort of discussions, and I almost forgot to go to the Pokemart. Oh, so that's how you get the inversion of a fusion. I'm wondering if I get other flute in some other cities. I know that there's actually items that let you ditch HMs after a certain point. Huh. I don't think I've seen a female bug catcher before. Would have been a bit funnier if they'd named it after her after Misty, but oh well. Forgot that ghost types are immune to normal moves and vice versa. That would have truly been a worthy successor to the battle of the two Metapods from the anime. that's right. Ralts can use teleport. Meaning that all I have to do is... That is a weird fusion. Well, at least we know how I can get me out here. That is not what I'm looking for. Quest 2 of the 3 quests is complete. All I gotta do now is... etch a Kakuna or a Metapod, then evolve it, and I can go back. Feels like they were a lot more common when I wasn't looking for them. Catch you next time then. I'll probably only be a few more minutes anyway. You know, I'll end the stream. Take care. I'll just catch a Weedle and then a ball. I should probably put that Tanglia back in the box and use it. That something we shall not speak about again. Kind of remind me of a moth or something. Ironically, it evolve with a leaf stone. I can't get one at this point in the game. Would not worth me going back. Okay, we have some potential this way. And I was right. Trying to remember what they said about nicknames, but oh well. I can just rename the fusion if it changes the name. Heal up, and I think I'll go on to the next route, level up Metapod, and I'll call it a stream. Actually, I probably should do one fusion on stream. Let's unfuse a Pokemon first. I could split the levels between the two. I don't. I only have two, so I probably should save my DNA splicers for later. I don't have enough money. Oh, I thought there was... I don't have enough money to buy another pair, so... I'll get the two. Well, that does explain why it's not linked. Oops. That did explain why the door... See what I get. Ooh. Okay, so leaving does not give me a new set of quests. That's a certain amount of time has to pass? Anyways, let's go level up Metapod. So either it's random or it was just the first one, but oh well. I should switch out for a different Pokemon. That's a good Pokemon I could catch. Got Metapod doesn't know anything aside from card. It a streak. Kind of felt like was a wasted opportunity for Cardin was that they didn't make it so that if you used it a certain amount of time, it would actually direct some of the damage that the user would have taken. Like, it gets used so many times that the Pokemon practically becomes as hard as steel, meaning that all that was as a waste of a. And again, it is the first time Ross has fainted, so it shouldn't harm itself. Well, it's been a fun stream, but I'm choosing to call it a night here. This has been Andreas Werbell. I'm awaiting an assignment with you